Hi, I'm back with another edition of boxing predictions number 103. And like in the last weekend, we have a few really good fights for this upcoming weekend. And yeah, let's see. First one is Erislandy Lara versus Ramon Alvarez. Yeah, it's a rather good fight because Lara is, of course, world class, while this guy Alvarez is well, he's all right anyway. Not perhaps elite level, but well, Lara is coming off a split draw against Brian Carlos Castano in March, and before that he lost to Jarrett Hurd, which was the end of his yeah, but this is a championship reign, I meant to say. But this is also now he now gets a chance to win the WBA super welter title once again. It's become vacant. And this guy, well, of course, he sounded very confident before. I mean, now coming into this fight, he sounds very confident, this guy Alvarez, Ramon. But I have no really. I have no doubts that Lara will win. I mean, because he's just far too good for him, technically and pretty much in every way. Because this guy has been stopped already by Brandon Rios, and that was after Rios' decline, began. And his best victory was over Jorge Paez Jr., who is not a world beater. He's lost to Antonio Margarito, who was also past his best. It was a split decision, but anyway. So I don't know really. This guy has been stopped, as I said, Alvarez 3 times, 7 losses. And Lara hasn't been stopped. He's 36. He's kind of, going towards decline, but I think he's still got enough to beat this guy, definitely. So I don't know why they didn't have him fight Castano again. It was kind of silly, I think. And but hopefully it will happen in Lara's next fight anyway. I don't know if Lara will win by a stoppage here. It's possible, but anyway, it can go the distance, or it can end within the distance. I think both are equally likely to happen, but Lara wins definitely. So yeah, that's all. I don't think I want to really be very specific on how this is going to go. Perhaps Lara can knock this guy out. Why not? But anyway, he will win. And then Charlie Edwards is fighting against Julio Cesar Martinez Aguilar. And Charlie Edwards is a very good flyweight from Surrey. So he's only lost to John Real Casimero, who, by the way, last weekend won pretty much like I had predicted him to win by a 10th round TKO. So anyway, Um, Casimiro is, I mean, sorry, Edwards is fighting this guy. He's now holding the WBC flyweight title, and this guy Aguilar, he's well, he's he's beaten in his last fight. He knocked out Andrew Selby actually, who was rather, you know, rather promising, but not more than a prospect with only 11 fights. So Aguilar has only lost once in his first fight by split decision. Yeah, to some guy who was undefeated, but he avenged the loss later. So yeah, he's also actually defeated Edgar Sosa, but Edgar has been really sleeping in the past few years anyway. But this guy is no joke, so I reckon BoxRec rates him at 4.5 stars, around the same rating as Charlie Edwards. So this will be a very good, interesting fight. I think Edwards is not a puncher really, so and Aguilar can't punch. I guess 11 knockouts. He's got 11 knockouts and 14 victories, and Edwards 6 knockouts and 15. And yeah, so both guys are about equal. I mean, both have one loss, almost the same number of victories. They are, well, Martinez Aguilar is 24, and Edwards is 26. Edwards is 5'6", and I don't know, it doesn't say how tall Aguilar is. I imagine he's shorter because Edwards is pretty tall for flyweight. Sorry, I'd even say very tall. So I think since this fight is at home, for Edwards, that he will most likely get the decision. But I expect it to be close, But still, I think Charlie Edwards might be at least a little better. Yeah. So Charlie Edwards to win on points. And then, Hughie Fury versus Alexander Povetkin. That's a really interesting fight as well. Mostly because it's a how do you say it, a test for both fighters. I mean, it's a testing fight. I mean, to see. I mean, Povetkin is now 40 years old almost, and he's been rather brutally stopped in his last fight by Anthony Joshua now. But he may not be done yet, so he is again facing a much bigger guy, but this time it's a guy that's not really of the same class, I guess, as Joshua. Hughie Fury he's a rather good fighter. I mean, like his cousin, but unlike his cousin, he's more like he's just, I guess, doesn't do. He needs to be more active in fights. I mean, he has a big punch. He has, but as you see, very often he hasn't scored that many KOs because he slacks a little bit too much. He's a bit too slow, and he definitely needs to work on that, Fury. And but I think he may have some potential, to be, well, a good contender, if nothing. I don't think he can ever be a true champion. Maybe a paper champion, but he's definitely not some kind of slouch. I mean, a bum. And yeah, in his fight against Pulev, he was, I remember it was seventh round, no, eighth, when he hurt Pulev. He could have gotten him out. He just either didn't know how, or he didn't have the stamina, the conditioning to keep on attacking and throwing big punches and all that. While Povetkin is not, he's of course a better technician than Fury. So I don't think he will look to knock out Hughie, because Hughie hasn't been stopped yet. He's fought some guys who are, rather good, Joseph Parker and Pulev. So well, Samuel Peter is no longer what he was, but anyway. So yeah, I think that Fury can pull off a victory here, because we don't know now. Povetkin hasn't fought for like almost a year, so we don't know what has happened. I mean, if how much he's got left in him, so I would say either Fury can win by some kind of later stoppage, or maybe on points, but he will just have to be more active and come in better shape and all that. Otherwise, Povetkin will just out hustle him, and outbox him. So I can see Hughie Fury winning this one. Alright, then finally the big one, Vasily Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell. Well, what is it? There isn't that much to say. I mean, Campbell, he lost to Jorge Linares, and it was a close fight, but he lost. While Lomachenko, he did have a few rocky moments against Linares, but he stopped him. Okay, so there is a rather, big difference between these two guys. Campbell is a good boxer, no doubt. I mean, one of the best that England has given us in the last few years, in the last decade. But he's already lost to Ivan Mendy also, so I don't know really. I don't see Campbell being able to win this fight, because he just doesn't have any of the advantages that he usually has, like speed and power won't do much good. I mean, unless he just manages to catch Vasily with something big. Lomachenko is just too good at neutralizing his opponent's offense, and breaking through their defense and all that. So he's so fast, so so unbelievably good. So I think he will stop, and he's of course now he's been in the last a few weeks, he's been looking really fit, really ripped, Lomachenko, and so this can even end even perhaps quicker than most people expect, but I'd say like between 6th and 9th round it will most likely end. Yeah. So if it goes past round 9, I will be kind of sorry, not disappointed, but surprised. So yeah, there's nothing else to say, but Lomachenko wins this, and by a stoppage. Yes, so that was it for this time. I hope you enjoyed this in any way that you could. So see you, bye bye.